Time for another AI-generated dance photo critique. All right, first up, we have this image of a dancer in a black tutu. Again, that standing leg kind of looks gorgeous. That bottom foot's beautiful. The hyperextension, the curve of that straight leg going up is quite nice. The dancer is directly over that standing leg, which is always one of my main comments whenever I'm working with dancers and doing first arabesque or any arabesque, is to make sure you're right on top of your standing leg. If this was a real dancer, I would, of course, tell them to turn out that standing leg a little bit more. That's almost completely, if not, it is completely parallel, which I see the foot. It's nice, but you're supposed to be turned out in that first arabesque standing leg position. The back leg is confusing. I mean, first of all, the shoe is terrible, and I don't think I can zoom in on it to show you, but maybe you can. I don't really know what's happening with the shoe. It's also unclear what that ripple is, if that's a kneecap or if that's a calf muscle that they've created there. Not sure. Either way, if it's shaped the right way, it's a really turned in back leg. You should never see the heel, the edge of your heel, poking up in your back leg. It should be turned out enough that you are just seeing the top side of your foot and that wing shape of your foot when you're in arabesque. So moving on up, though, the upper body is not great either. That back arm, her right arm, is way too high. That should be lower down, either in line with that back leg arabesque or reaching out to the back diagonal. The top arm's not in a terrible position, but that wrist and hand shape is making the line droop down, and we always want that to continue upward in the direction that our energy is moving. And her eyes are kind of cast down against those high arms, which just, it's not a good thing. So I give this one, that foot's really nice in the bottom, and it's a pretty tutu. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 10. Okay, here's our next one. Whew. Okay, I don't even know where to start. So that bottom foot, again, it's pretty. It's really nice. It's a pointed foot. That arch, they've got, the AI has the arch of the standing leg down. Hyperextension in that leg is beautiful. The dancer is back off of their standing leg. Their center of gravity is way behind their foot that they're standing on, and that's not the goal. So they needed to be a lot more forward over their standing foot and be a little bit more upright over their standing leg. And then, of course, again, I would ask for more turnout. You can see just the sliver of the underneath side of her foot, but with somebody who's that hypermobile, they're going to have a lot more turnout to access, and so they'd really want to turn out that standing leg a whole lot more. That back leg is terrible. It's really awful. It is turned in. It is bent. That foot is weird. You can see the whole backside profile of that back foot, and we should not be seeing that. We should see again, the top arch of that foot. It's disturbing, and I hate it. Her back arm is, again, one of those, like, it's too long and the fingers are super weird. It's not at a bad height. I wouldn't mind that height of the arm. I would maybe ask for it to be a little bit lower if we were, like, really, getting fine-tuned with the corrections. But ultimately, it's not in a terrible position. Her torso is kind of, she's not using her abs. So when we're doing any sort of arabesque position, even though you're arching, your back is arching and your legs going behind you and it's like stretching out your abs, you should still be engaging your core. And this position looks like there's just no engagement of the core muscles whatsoever. So that's not great. Not typical that you would look back over that backhand. I'm not going to say it's not, that it's not possible. You could have choreography that has you look back over that hand, but typically you're going to be looking forward over her right hand in an arabesque like this position. And her top hand is in a good place. I mean, it feels short because I think that they've created it as a short arm, and the hand's funky again, but like that top arm's not necessarily in a terrible position. So I'm going to give this one, God, that bottom foot's really helping to raise the rating up. I'm going to also, I'm going to give this one a 2.5 out of 10. Last one for today is this lovely shot. It is AI generated, but I could honestly say that this could actually happen in real life. I could potentially see a dancer do a position like this. I would correct it. There's some things that I would correct for sure, but like this one's, it's not out of the question of being real as far as position goes. So again, that bottom foot, not as arched as some of the other ones, but it's pointed over. You're on the forward part of the box with the center of gravity going forward over it. So like that's where your foot should be. Sometimes dancers will rock back in their arch to like keep it safe. And in this situation, they've pushed forward, which is great. Again, asking for more turnout on that standing leg so I can see the underneath side of their heel would be kind of awesome. That front leg is terrible because it is so turned in and the knee is bent. So we would want to have a straight front knee and we would want to see it turned out. So again, you're seeing the top side of the foot and not the profile underneath side. And then those arms are pretty terrible. Those are not placed, not thought about arms. Those are flinging, flailing. I don't know what I'm doing arms. So back arms should be lower. There shouldn't be that big, strong break in the wrist. I suppose the front arm's not terrible, but it's really that back arm that's kind of ruining it. So I'm going to give this one like a 4.5 out of 10. If you want me to critique your real life dance photos, I'm happy to do so. Just send me a DM and I will add them into my rotation of critiques.